hacer una parte de eso, pero las primeras desaparecen. Vamos a clicar ahí. No voy a gastar eso es tontería.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So, welcome to my garden. It's a beautiful Wednesday afternoon at
Es como el bike. Eso. Yo no sé para qué tengo eso. Voy a poner play a todo. A ver, no sé. Eso no.
it's a beautiful Wednesday afternoon and I thought I'll bring you outside because hey, it's still summer. It's kind of like
911. What's your emergency?
There's a woman. There's a body.
A woman's body, sir?
She's here. But not all of her. Not all of her.
Calm down, sir. Can you tell me if the woman is breathing?
She has her tail. She has no face.
I'm Ingrid Mendoza, and you're in Killer Country. This week, we're diving into the bizarre death of Mirabel Diaz. Mirabel dreamed of becoming a Hollywood actress, but trapped in the small seaside town of Mystic Bay, Florida, her options were limited. She'd book an occasional used car commercial or a clown at a child's birthday party, but legitimate opportunities were few and far between. Eventually, however, Mirabel found a path to acting in an unexpected place, Wild Tides Water Park. There, Mirabel donned a long silver tail and a shimmering tube top. 5 days a week, rain or shine, she'd swim in a massive glass tank, smiling at tourists and posing for pictures. At Wild Tides, Mirabel became Miss Mirabel, the magic mermaid of Mystic Bay. Then, on August 24th, 2012, everything changed. Hurricane Braden tore through Mystic Bay, destroying 65 homes, 34 Shake Shacks, and leaving at least one person missing, Mirabel Diaz. Frank Wild, the longtime owner of Wild Tides Water Park, was among the last to see her alive.
She was a pretty redhead. Now, some say she had webbed feet. She never wanted to talk. Now, I don't like to speak ill of the dead, but she was a little cold. Snobby, you might say. When the hurricane was coming, I told her, hey, sweetie, you can stay with me. Because, you know, this place is a fortress. I got hurricane shutters, sandbags, the whole shebang. A bunker with a sauna, screening room, bowling alley. Yeah, regulation bowling alley, do you understand? Yeah, the real deal. Yeah, I told her. I got 2 months worth of beans. Yeah, all kinds of beans. Right? Black beans, kidney beans, pint-toe beans, lima beans, soybeans, jelly beans. Yeah, I was worried, you know, because she lived all by herself. I owned the building she lived in, and I knew it was, I knew she wouldn't have beans. But she told me she'd be okay on her own. Yeah, maybe if she just stayed at my place. You know, you wonder what might have been. But she said no, she didn't even like beans.
I spoke with Frank at his home over 3-bean salad. From where we sat on an expansive back patio festooned with marble statues of dolphins, women, and dolphin women, we could see the very top of Wild Tides Megalodon Mega Twister. It's a massive water slide, just over 100 feet tall, that shoots park visitors into the waiting jaws of a fiberglass megalodon.
Please, this park employs half the damn town easily. We added that big slide, the friggin' orcas. It's a sight to see, especially the mermaids. And Mirabel, well, she was the most popular one. You really just never think of something happening to a girl like that in a place like this. Well, except for that time when those kids got eaten during the alligator parade. Or the time the clowns went feral. Oh, or that time when the old guy...
Behind us, something bumps. Hard. Against a glass wall.
don't mind her. That's cannellini. Here, girl. Come here. Come on, sweet bean.
Frank Wild, heir to the Wild Bean Company fortune, is an avowed animal lover. His home, a concrete monolith rising from the steaming marsh, includes a massive glass pyramid teeming with all sorts of aquatic marvels, including, most notably, a 6-foot albino alligator named Cannellini. He also owns a narwhal, 7 dolphins, roughly 16 flamingos, 3 tigers, 7 pythons, a wild boar, and several ostriches. Most are named after Beans. Frank goes on.
I used to have a whole mess of macaws, too. But every hurricane, more of them escaped. Sometimes I still see them flying over the house. I guess they wanted to be free. Yeah, whatever that means. Anyway, she was a nice girl. Sometimes. And it's a shame what happened.
Jessa Lynn Garcia, another mermaid at Wild Tides Water Park, remembers Mirabelle a bit differently.
She was just sweet as pie. She really was. And such a pretty little thing. For a brunette. Except for the gills. She was always giving me real nice tips, about what to do with my clothes or my hair. She'd come up to me while we'd be putting our tails on and say something like, "Oh, Jessalyn, you would look so good as a blonde." Or, "Oh, Jessalyn, don't go to that Shake Shack on August 24th. I had a vision." And, she was always the second runner-up at pageants. Almost Miss Key Lime Pie. Almost the Orange Blossom Queen. Almost Ambassador to Kazakhstan. People don't realize it, but it takes a lot of character to keep showing up after losing out over and over and over and over and over and over again. I'm proud of my titles. Always will be. I don't take the honor of being the Orange Blossom Queen 6 straight years in a row lightly, but, I admired Mirabelle, too. And she had a good heart. She'd volunteer all the time.
Welcome to
She'd
today's
perform
guided
for the little old
meditation
people
session.
down at the senior center.
I'm so
Sing
glad
that
you're
song
here.
from that mermaid movie.
For the next
I'm in
20
Your
minutes,
World, or
I'll be
whatever
guiding
it's
you
called.
towards
I don't know.
subtle
My
peace
children
in
only watch
times of
godly
chaos.
movies.
I invite you to find
She
a
didn't have
comfortable
children, so
position,
maybe she
be
didn't
it in a
realize.
chair,
Or a
on the
husband,
floor,
which I
or on
also
a
have.
cushion.
So.
Be sure to
and
sit
she
up
was a
straight.
perfectionist.
Your arms
So
resting
she'd sing that
comfortably
same
on your
song
lap.
over and over
Your
till she got it
arms
right.
facing
20, 30 times.
If you're seated
The
in
old
a
people
chair,
would tell her she
I
didn't have
invite you
to,
to
that
place
she could
both feet
stop at
firmly
any
on
time,
the
but
ground.
she was happy to do it.
If you're
She
seated on
was
the
a
floor
natural
or upon a
performer.
cushion,
Oh,
I
so
encourage you to
gifted.
position yourself
I
in
was
such
never
a way
like
that you
I
feel
mean,
fully grounded and
everyone's different.
supported.
Some of us are more into
I'll
the
give you a few more
artistry
seconds
of it
to
all.
find the position
I'm
that's
a Wild
right for
Tides
you.
Water Park mermaid because I believe it's important to provide families with wholesome, all-ages entertainment at an
Ready?
affordable price. But
Let's begin.
others, they like the
You can
attention.
close your eyes or
Not
just
that,
let your
not that I'm
vision
blaming her
gradually
for
soften.
what happened. Gosh,
Whichever
no.
is best
She
for you.
was a nice person. She didn't deserve that.
Let's start
Not
by
at all.
focusing on our
You
breath.
just never think something
Now,
like that would
there may be
happen in
other
a
things vying for
teeny
your
little
attention.
teensy town like Mystic
Smell.
Bay. I mean, besides that time that poor boy was pushed into that hydraulic press, or that old man who
Keyboards
spontaneously
clicking.
combusted in the Publix parking lot.
Footsteps
But
down the
other than
hall.
that, you just never think of bad stuff
Hydraulic
happening here. It was so sad
The
what
hum
happened to
and
her.
drone of
Of course,
electrical
we all
appliances.
suspected Jared. He was weird.
If
He
the
followed her
sound
around
or
like a
thought
puppy.
should try to pull
A
your attention
weird puppy.
away,
Mirabelle's
right.
disappearance left a
Just
mark on the
simply
minuscule
bring
town of
focus
Mystic
back
Bay,
to your
with
breathing.
search missions tampered by downed power lines and felled trees.
Now,
As
let's
days
breathe
turned
in
into
for 3
weeks,
counts,
the town's
allowing
optimism
your chest
began to
and belly
fade.
to expand.
That said, losing
fully.
hope is something of a custom for residents of Mystic Bay. For years, competing theme
That's
parks,
good.
virus outbreaks,
Now
daylight
hold your
savings, and a
breath for 3
quickly
counts.
shifting culture led to a downturn in park numbers.
Hey, come on now. Wild Tides is still top quality. Some of
Well
the best
done.
damn entertainment in the state.
Next,
I don't care
release
what
your
anyone
breath
thinks,
through your
right?
mouth with an
But the
audible
fact of the matter
sigh
is-
for 6 counts.
Kids don't go for
Ready?
that anymore. Yeah, they'd rather be on their phones playing Candy Crush or Roblox Adopt Me or Neil.Fun than at a park with their
Very
phones.
good.
So
Now,
people stopped coming.
let's do that
And
again.
then, of course,
Breathe in.
that's when they found
1,
her.
2,
For what was left of her.
and
What
hold.
was left of Mirabelle
One,
was found by Jared Holt on November 15th,
And now
2012,
gently breathe
3
out
months
with a sigh.
after she went missing. That's his voice you heard in the 911 call at the top of the episode.
She has her
Good.
tail.
One last time.
She has no face.
Focus on the breath.
When Chipko County
it
police
feels
arrived at the
filling your
scene,
lungs,
they
and
discovered
how
a
it feels
grisly
flowing
sight.
out back into the
Mirabelle
world.
Diaz, lodged in the jaws of
There
the
is always
Megalodon
something
Megatwister,
to be
her
found
mermaid
here.
tail curled daintily
peace
beneath her on the
amid the
ancient
chaos.
beast's pink fiberglass tongue.
Breathe in.
The park's earliest attendees, a group of school children from the St. Brendan the Navigator
1,
Institute for Marine Biology,
3,
followed Jared's gaze,
release.
the park's famed
1,
mermaid staring
2,
back at them.
3,
That is, if she could have stared back.
5.
Jessalyn Garcia remembers the
Wonderful.
day vividly.
Now that
He
you've
was
begun
like
to
cat
relax,
and tonic when he
let's
first saw her.
continue to bring your
You know, like
focus further.
he couldn't move or blink or
If you
say a single
experience
word.
a distracting
Oh,
thought,
poor thing. He
Just
just
let it
stood
pass.
there, looking into the
Work,
hole where her face had been.
errands,
It was all
obligations,
sunk
them
in.
all fall away.
Pit.
And just quietly
No offense to
bring your
Mirabelle, but
focus
you know,
back
I
to
think
your
it was the
breathing,
worst I've ever seen her
to
look.
your body.
And it was the first day
To
since
your
the hurricane that the
inner
park was
peace.
open to the public. That's
Your
what's so
breath
sad
is
about
your
it.
anchor.
November is always a slow month.
is your
The
peace
water's
in
cold, the
times
sun
of
sets
chaos.
early. It's peak season for the flesh-eating
Whenever you
algae that
stray
sometimes
or
grows on
become
the lazy river
distracted,
inner tubes. But we
return
lost
to
so
your
much
breath.
money because of the storm that we were all just so excited for the park to open back up again.
Now,
And
I
someone
want you
had
to
just
picture
up
a
and
string
shoved
that runs
poor
from
little
the top
old
of your
Mirabelle
head
into the big
to
old
the
shark's
soles
mouth.
of your feet.
How's that for taking the steak right out of your
Follow
popsicle?
this string in
Now,
your mind.
Jessalyn
And
had a pretty good
moving
idea
your
of who was
awareness
responsible.
down through the length of
But
the body.
first,
Allow each part to relax and soften.
speaking of popsicles, when's the last
If
time
you'd like,
you enjoyed
and
a
it feels
mouthful of
comfortable for
fresh,
you,
home-cooked
you can
food?
tense
Between
and then
work and
slowly
errands,
release
there's never time to
body
cook a
parts
proper
as you
meal.
stare.
That's where Dinner
Feel
Dash
free to
comes in.
adjust your position
Dinner
as
Dash
needed.
is a weekly meal
Anytime
delivery service
throughout
focused
this
on fresh,
meditation.
organic ingredients with recipes
If you
chosen
should feel
by
any
real chefs.
discomfort during
Best of
this
all,
exercise,
Dinner Dash meals
simply take
never
note of it.
expire. Using our
Observe
secret
the
technology, we have made eggs
There's
that
no need to
last
try to
forever.
change it.
Get 20% off your
Note
first
the
Dinner
feeling,
Dash weekly meal
and
kit
then
with code
move on.
KILLER20. Dinner Dash.
Ready?
Meals that are eternal.
Let's begin.
Back to the case. Here's Jessalyn.
We'll start at
Now, the
the
first
crown
thing
of
you
your
gotta
head,
understand about Mystic
relaxing
Bay
the scalp.
is that it's a small town. You know, real
As you
small.
move down,
Itty bitty.
You can relax
So
your
everyone
brow,
knows everyone
letting
here.
the eyes
I went to
soften.
school with Jared and Mirabelle, worked
Let
alongside
tension
them here at
melt
the
away
park.
from that.
And Jared, well, I can say this, right?
Now the
Because I
lips
know
are
him. He's probably just about the worst mascot we've ever had. The only reason he kept his job is because no one else wanted to wear the costume. And when I say he wanted to wear the costume, I mean he really wanted to wear the costume. Like, really.
We continue down, softening the thread.
Not in a God-honoring
Shoulders
way.
drop. Your arms without having. Then we'll rest.
Jared Holt had dressed as Wild Tide's water park's iconic mascot, Manny the Manatee, since dropping out of Mystic Bay High School in 1999. His costume consisted of a massive suit carved of fleece and foam, complete with flippers, a floppy headpiece, and Manny's signature orange flip-flops. All told, the costume weighed in at a staggering 140 pounds and was said to have reached internal temperatures of up to 100 degrees, 310 Kelvin in the searing Florida heat. Past Manny the Manatees have been recorded passing out from the extreme temperature, including one Manny who, in 1973, collapsed face first into a child's birthday cake, and another who, in 1985, became partially baked within the suit while conducting a water safety demonstration at the park's wave pool. For years, Wild Tide's water park officials could not find workers willing to put on the suit.
Whoa, change the design? Yeah, no, out of the question. That manatee suit was designed by my own daddy, Frank Wild Sr. Jr. He had two dreams: to sell quality beans at affordable prices across the continental United States of America, and to make a true man-manatee hybrid he referred to as
You've got mail.
humanity.
You've got mail.
And that damn suit That's the second closest he ever got to it. So no, I'd never change it. If you think the suit's too heavy or too stinky or too what have you, well, that's a personal thing. Man up. And manatee up. Yeah. Come on, change the suit? What, are you kidding me with this?
You could smell the soup before you saw it. I'd say it was closest to... You ever have a Florida-style pizza? Well, you take a handful of saltine crackers and sort of spread them out on a paper plate with sprayed cheese, turtle jerky, and a little bit of gas station pickle, and a sprinkle of boiled peanuts. Just leave it out for a little bitty bit, let the sunshine do its magic, and voila, you got yourself a meal. Now, it's delicious, but you'll be smelling it for about a mile, 2 miles out if the wind hits just right.
Come on, let's go. Come on, I need you right here. Crunch it down.
The Manny the Manatee soup smelled
You've got
sort of like
mail.
that. Like Florida-style pizza.
You've got mail.
Or rotten broccoli.
You've got mail.
Despite the soup's numerous downsides, there was one person more than willing to don it around the park. Jared Holt.
Jared, well, he strayed from the light of the Lord. I can tell you that much for nothing. Tampering with the divine design. He had a lot of off predications. He was a fuzzy.
I met with Jared
You got
Holt
mail.
at the Chipco County Jail. It's a small, peach-colored structure across from a former Sears-turned-Spirit Halloween.
I first learned about it online. I've always liked to draw. Kind of. Like funny animals. Or animals with like bazooka arms. Just funny stuff, you know? Whatever pops into my head. Like maybe I'll draw a manatee with big muscles and bazooka arms. Or maybe I'll feel more like drawing a bazooka that shoots out manatees with, you know, really huge muscles.
You've got
There's a lot
mail.
of
You've got
symbolism there
mail.
if you think about it. Not that a lot of people think about it. I have a real respect for all sirenians. That's the term for aquatic mammals like manatees and dugongs, by the way. Sirenian. You know, like a siren, like a mermaid. You know, they think sailors invented mermaids because they saw manatees out in the water and fell in love with them.
I asked Jared whether his appreciation for Sirenians extended to Mirabelle. He grows quiet, sullen, and then...
You've got mail.
No, I don't think of her that way. She was pretty, sure. Long, pinkish hair, cross-eyed. She was a friend to me. Nothing less, nothing more. After all, she was the one to pull me out of that pool train.
The incident to which Jared is
got mail.
referring occurred in June of 2001 and has since become local legend
mail.
around the microscopic town of Mystic Bay. Jared Holt, then 19, had gone on break. Like many Wild Tide Water Park workers, fighting the miasmic heat of a June afternoon with can after can of fluorescent yellow alcoholic energy drinks,
Denuncio.